which is the ability to make sensory-based distinction in yourself and other people to identify the difference in someone's physiology and state. So we are going to start using the PowerPoint now. So if you open your book, page 2, inside, you will see the slide with empty words missing. And the reason why there's an empty word missing is for you to fill it in. So sensory acuity is the art and science of observation. The observation from one moment to the other moment, not body language. You see in body language, when you put your hand in the pocket, it means that you're ready to pay money. But sensory acuity is not like that. In sensory acuity, we only want to notice the change in someone from one moment to the other moment. So why is sensory acuity important? Is because you can pay attention to your own internal and external signal. So for example, the change on your body. I remember many years ago, I took a shower. And then as I'm in the shower, and then I looked down. And as I looked down, I couldn't see my thing. My thing was gone. And I thought, where is it? My stomach was so big. And then I thought, where is it? I lost it. On that day, I knew that I needed to lose weight. Because my body was giving me signal that it was time for me to exercise. Time for me to eat well. So I did. I exercised. I eat well. And then as I started to lose weight, I took a shower again. And then I looked down. It's there again. Of course, I'm talking about my toe. Huh? So, sensory acuity is also a way to observe the other people's action and reaction. So you can notice the change in other people. So for example, when you employ a new employee, as they are started to work for you, often you start to see very good behavior, right? They come to work on time, they work really hard. But then, as time goes by, you start to see change in them. And the change that you see in them can be observed by sensory acuity. So sensory acuity, it's not important what it means. For example, your employees start to be late. And they're late because they've lost their motivation. In sensory acuity, we're not interested in that. Sensory acuity is just to observe the change. They are on time, and suddenly they're late. That means something. And the reason we cover sensory acuity as the first technique of NLP is because every other technique at the practitioner and master practitioner is based on sensory acuity. How do you know if you have used successfully a technique of NLP or not? How do you know? By observing before and after. It's a little bit like online marketing. You can spend so much money on Facebook or Google, and a bad agency will be getting you to invest as much money as possible. Because as much money as you spend, they tell you that the more clients you will get, which is partly true, but not necessarily true. A very good online marketing agency will be measuring the results that you get at every level for every dollar that you spend. And they will be able to tell you where you should spend your budget or not, based on what works and what doesn't work. Sensory acuity is a very powerful tool. It's the tool that you use to know if you are moving towards success or not. Sensory acuity is the technique that you use to know if you're going into the right direction or not. Some of your internal or physiological response you could be starting to pay attention is a feeling of happiness, love, or achievement. Now, if you feel happy, what is the signal trying to tell you? Your sensory acuity is telling you, hey, do more of the thing that makes you happy. So there is this woman living in a small village in North Vietnam. And it's a small village and, it starts to rain. And as it rains, the chief of the village goes sees the resident and say, hey, you have to evacuate because there will be flooding. And people in the village start to evacuate. And this woman decides to not evacuate and to stay in her house. And the rain starts to accumulate. So the woman's daughter knocked on the door and said, Mom, we need to leave the village. You have to leave. The flooding is becoming higher and higher. And she says, I've been living in this house for 50 years. Everything's going to be fine. And so she stayed in the house and the daughter evacuated. Now the water starts to accumulate more and more, and now the lady is on the roof of the top of her house. An helicopter passed by with a rope, and the man says, take the rope, take the rope. And the woman says, no, I'm okay, everything is going to be okay. So the helicopter leaves, and a few minutes later, the house collapses. She falls into the water, and she passes away. A few minutes later, her soul makes it to heaven. And when she's in heaven, she meets God. And as she meets God, she says, God, I don't understand. I have faith in you. I believe you would save me. And God said, I sent you, the chief of the village, to save you. I sent you, your daughter, to save you. You didn't listen. I sent you the chief. You didn't listen. And God said, for God's sake, I even sent you in a helicopter to save you. But you didn't listen. Remember this, that when you have negative emotion or you have negative thinking, it is like signal from your unconscious mind. And all signal from your unconscious mind is there to tell you something. And many people take these signal and push them away. But the signal always comes back stronger and stronger until you listen. So listen to your body. Listen to the signal of your unconscious mind. Observe the change that is happening in your life and other people's lives. And once you notice that something has changed, you need to identify correctly what it means. So let's say that you have pain. You are hurt in the inside. Let's say you have butterfly. Anyone have ever had that, like butterfly in the inside because of a conflict that you have? Yeah. So what is the signal trying to tell you? What is it trying to tell you? If you have butterfly in your stomach, you're hungry. Well, not about food, about challenge or problem. Like, I don't know, your mom is not listening to you. Your mom is telling you cannot go out, but you want to go out. She said no. You say yes. You say, Mom, I'm not 14 years old anymore. I want to see my friend. And maybe sometime you may have the conflict and feel not so good. What does that mean? What should you do? The pain or the butterfly inside of your stomach is telling you to actually resolve the problem, to find a solution. Anytime that you're anxious, it's there to tell you to do something about it. And the anxiety and the stress will disappear. The butterfly will disappear, will fly away.